friends, family, neighbors. These are all people that could be going hungry in your community. But how are you to know? How are you to help? The solution is ComMeals. I'm Nathan Austin, and my partner Matt Duman couldn't be here today because he lives in New York, I live in Maine, and we just don't have the money to meet up to make a video yet. He actually got the idea from the TV show Tokyo Stories Midnight Diner, in which people get together in the wee hours of the night at a diner and they get and eat food for, I believe, a reduced price or maybe even free. I don't remember entirely. I read the wiki on it. But anyway, so this is kind of a modified version of that, in which people get meals from other people directly. Our goal ultimately is to feed those who are hungry and to do our very best to remove the stigmas and stereotypes surrounding those in need. Because there's a lot of assumptions that go around about people who are in need, and I know for a fact that they're not true most of the time. I mean, I myself needed to rely on the food pantry for 2 months during this past semester, so I mean, I'm not what a lot of people could consider the stereotypical cliche in need person. So like, it's bogus, all of it. It's you can't just make assumptions based on financial standing. So also, in relation to all of that, we like to describe our campaign organization with the word altruism, because I feel, despite it being overused in the helping community, the term, in this case, it really is a good word due to the fact that everything that it means in the primary definition is what we're about. It's about being genuine and helping, and primarily those things, but also we'd like to progress in terms of how people feel about the needy, or rather those in need. So, how are we going to do this? Well, there's going to be 4 different accounts on this site. There's going to be a consumer account, which is made by the one in need. There's going to be a producer account, which is going to be done by an individual who cooks for those in need. There's going to be a supplier account for perhaps a local food pantry looking to offload some food, or maybe a local farm or business that's looking to donate food to the cause, or rather the producers to help them create the meals that they're creating for those in need. Lastly, there's the community account, which I believe has the most potential. Essentially, the way that works is people would get together and have large groups of people come in for dinners. For example, if a high school or something were to raise money for their arts programs by having a spaghetti dinner for the locals, for those in need, they would use our community account. And the reason why you'd want to use our account as opposed to just doing it on your own is because we have this sort of program worked in, a kudos program, in which the more people you feed, the more kudos you get. And then you can use those kudos as a way to improve your current culinary situation. Maybe you get a knife set, a rolling pin, cutting board, maybe even like a electric skillet or something, depending on how many kudos that you saved up. With the community account, however, you could also get a check or prepaid Visa or something of that sort to go towards whatever cause you are trying to raise money for. If you're just doing it to feed people, that's awesome. If that's the case, you just need to let us know. You'll type in what your cause is for the community account, and we'll give you different kudos things, like things you can select from on our website. The reasons for the community things will have to be approved by us. So that way people can't just get a group of friends together, like 4 friends, and then feed them and then get points for it. That way there's no abuse of the system. It will have to be approved by myself, Matt, or a moderator, who we don't have anyone else but Matt and I yet, but hopefully we'll be able to get past that. So there's going to be 2 types of community accounts. There's going to be a sort of one and done, and then there's going to be a cumulative. The one and done is if you do something for a school event, like the spaghetti dinner I mentioned. You'll just have to say, like, hey, we wanna feed this many people. Like, let's say your goal is 30 people. It's not a ton, but let's say 30 people, and if you meet that quota, you'll get a certain amount of kudos that you'll be able to use on the website. There'll be a limited amount of things to choose from with the one and done community account, due to the fact that you're only doing it once, and it's a great thing that you're doing it, but you're only doing it once, so your sort of rewards will be limited. However, with the cumulative, the rewards will be larger, and they'll be more effective in terms of funding your cause, or if you are looking to improve your culinary situation, then it would be a higher tier object. So that I think has the most potential, due to the fact that it's going to be difficult to get individuals to want to drive and meet up with some other individual, and it has potential to be uncomfortable. However, I've worked in a system, or am going to work in a system, where people will put in their interests and hobbies in addition to dietary restrictions and things of that sort while signing up for the website. So that way, once the individual, if they aren't looking to go to a community thing, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment, they can meet up with an individual who's cooking and get that going. They'll chat for a while and then decide on a location, or obviously what's going to be cooked and things of that sort, and hopefully they'll have similar interests and hobbies, so ideally they'll become friends, and then, maybe they will still use the website so they get kudos and whatnot. But if they don't, that's cool too. I mean, as long as the person in need is getting what they need, then that's really all that matters. As for the community account, I think I would like to, or I'm sure I would like to, partner with local businesses and owners of function halls, so that way ComMeals could perhaps sponsor weekly or bi-weekly meals, and sort of it would be an incentive for people to actually get together and do something like that. So we're looking ultimately, like I said earlier, to feed people and to make them a part of the community, because as it is now, people think of people in need and they're just people in need. They're not like real people, and that's really kind of terrible. In fact, it's really terrible, and it's not fair. And if we were to get these communities together to eat together and laugh together and become friends together, I mean, let's say Matt and Nate is the person in need. Matt makes a meal for Nate, and then Matt talks to John and is like, hey, I just met this guy Nate through ComMeals, and he's actually pretty cool. And then John suddenly knows someone in need who isn't just some guy in need. It's Matt's friend Nate. So then John helps Sarah, and then Julian's like, oh, whoa, John, who's that? And then he's like, oh, it's Sarah. And I mean, let's say for some reason, or not some reason, but maybe they use the sort of similar interests and hobbies thing, and who knows? Maybe they like each other and they end up getting together or whatever, and that's good. Then you know, Julian over there is like, wow, that's no longer just a person in need. That's John's girlfriend or something to that effect. So, what I'm saying is that this has a lot of potential, and we just need the money to get it off the ground. And I feel if we get it off the ground, it's going to go really far. It's going to help a lot of people. So, ultimately, we need you to donate as much as you can. And as much as you can isn't like $100. It's not $50. It's not $20. It could be $1. It could be 50 cents. Whatever you can give us is much appreciated. Um, I'd like to work on something or get together something where the first 10 people to donate $50 or more will get a T-shirt once we are funded, and then anyone who donates $20 or more will get a jelly, like one of those jelly bands, the wristbands that you can put on, and it'll have our company name and the 3-word description, which will be on the tab of our website, which there will hopefully be a basic version of the website up within 2 months of the release of this Kickstarter. So by March 30th, something like that. And it's gonna be good. But it's only gonna be good if you help us. And don't think of it as helping us. Think of it as helping your community, your county, your state, your country. Ideally, this could be international because we're going to use a sort of open source satellite map, so that way people can use the service to meet up somewhere. They'll like put a pin on the map and say, hey, let's meet up here or whatever, and they'll chat. And so anyway, you'll see a lot more when the website comes out. I've only mentioned a few things, and there's so much more to this that it's gonna be mind-boggling how much this will do, because it gives people a lot of options, a ton of options, and there are similar programs to it out there. There are. I'm not gonna deny that, but ours solidifies the idea of the altruism thing and projecting that onto others and spreading the goodness. And it sounds really cheesy, but it's really true. So yeah, please donate. Before I tell you too much, I'm gonna say goodbye, because I still want you to be awesomely surprised when the website comes out. So once again, 50 cents, $2, $5, $10, $20, $100, or the whole 1,500. I mean, whatever you want to do, and anything you can do, much appreciated. And until next time, I'm Nathan, and Matt would really like to be here today, but also for Matt, he appreciates you taking your time to watch this video. I do too. And have a nice day or night depending on where you are. And goodbye.